Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to ultimately create the life that you desire and deserve? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be pulling from, the clarification deck, and the advice deck I'll be closing out the reading with in the extended. Any information on that extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Taurus, let's jump on in. In your recent past, you have cleansing with the 9 of Wands. You've been, whether or not you've been fully aware of this or not, going through a process of shedding the old and shedding what is actually holding you back from what is truly meant for you. Now, a lot of times when we're going through that, it can feel like a lot of loss. It can feel as if we're losing opportunities, we're losing people, relationships, whatever the case might be. And the universe is saying this is actually a period of letting go of the old and making room for the new. This is very much, I feel like, a theme right now in general, just kind of based on the collective messages that I've been receiving. Maybe someone who's a little bit more well-versed in astrology can explain that. I personally am not. Aside from the basics, you know, we have the retrograde, the eclipse, all of these things kind of happening, which I know can lead to a lot of different things manifesting from that. But I do feel like it just in general, it seems to be this period of letting go of paths, relationships, jobs that just aren't serving the collective and stepping into a more aligned reality. And that requires kind of having to embrace a lot of what you don't know. Because in your current energy, you do have embrace uncertainty with the strength in reverse. So because you've been letting go of things that aren't serving you anymore, letting go of the old, that probably means that you're in this in-between phase of like, okay, I know that doesn't align with me, I know that doesn't serve me, but like, what next, or what now, or where do I go from here? And a lot of times when we're in that uncertainty energy, we get caught up in trying to force an answer. So we look for it again in things that end up not serving us. And the universe is saying right now is not a time to have all the answers, but to kind of surrender to where you're at and be open to new beginnings. Right now, I feel like you're very much lacking kind of confidence, faith, in a bigger picture plan here, which is always understandable. You know, when there's a lot outside of our control, of course you're going to be second guessing things. Of course you're going to second guess yourself or your path or whether or not the universe is supporting you. It's natural. But it doesn't mean that things aren't working out. It just means that you're not really understanding how that could be the case right now. As you move forward in your immediate future, you have abundance with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. This is the universe saying trust and trust that everything's working out. You'll start to experience those things happening. And when you get to where this is all taking you, you will not feel like you've lost anything at all. I think a lot of the times when, you know, it's easy to hold, not so easy actually, but we try to hold on to this idea of like, okay, everything is happening for me, not to me, or, you know, whatever has been lost, like wasn't meant for me, and what is meant for me will never pass me. But in the back of our mind, I think we often have this tendency to be like, well, what if it isn't as good? Or what if I never have that opportunity again? Or what if things don't work out? And the universe is saying it will, and when you get to where you're going, you won't be like feeling like you're settling or like you missed out on something that should have worked. And I feel like that's the universe's way of saying you can trust that everything is working out for your highest good at this time. Overall theme for this reading is relief. And I feel like this is what you're kind of searching for right now. There's probably a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of overwhelm, especially when you're kind of in the midst of uncertainty. And relief is really going to come from the level of faith that you have in the universe. When we can truly trust that everything is working out for our highest good, we can surrender that over, which makes the process a hell of a lot easier. But when we believe that things are going to be bad, or that the universe is out to get us, or that it's us against the world, those anxieties are going to start to come up and they're going to control us, and we're not going to be able to see things as clearly. So embracing where you're at right now is absolutely part of this journey. The universe is saying you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything's working out, and it's almost like the universe is saying, like, you'll see. You'll see. So that's just the overall energy. Let's get some of the deeper energies here. So let's start, Taurus, by looking at your recent past. Queen of Swords in reverse. Eight of Swords. Okay. So in your past, there have been certain limiting beliefs that you've had about yourself and the world around you and how much the universe has your back, and there are so many limiting beliefs you could have had. But these limiting beliefs have actually kept your heart and mind closed off to the idea that things can be good for you, that you can reach a place of fulfillment or financial independence, or being in a relationship with the perfect person for you, or just experiencing the things that you desire actually coming to fruition. Because I feel as if there were certain paths that you were trying to force. It could have been, like I said, relationships, jobs, that maybe deep down you knew weren't what's best for you, but part of you felt that you needed to pursue them anyway, for whatever reason. So heart and mind kind of closed off to other outcomes, which kept you really focused on outcomes or on paths that weren't actually all that good for you. Now, that's natural and it happens, and it doesn't mean you've wasted your time or that you did the wrong thing or you missed out on anything. It just means that you're, through the process of learning what is meant for us, we have to go through a lot of things that aren't. And learning that those things aren't meant for us and why is ultimately what leads us to what is meant for us. So understand that, our limiting beliefs about what's possible for us and what is possible just in this world in general, and, how much the universe really is supporting us in creating the life that we desire, are going to be a product of what we've experienced. If you have not experienced the level of success that you want, or the level of love that you desire, or the support of the universe that truly exists for you, you are not going to believe in it. You're not going to believe that those things exist or that they're even possible, because so much of what we expect comes from a place of what we've experienced. So that's where our limiting beliefs are created. We experience certain things and we create proof for the beliefs, that these limiting beliefs that we have, and we start to say nothing better can ever happen because this is as good as I've ever experienced. Like, this is the limit that I've ever experienced, so that must be the cap for what's possible for me. And so we hold ourselves back from what's really possible because we don't think it can get better. And that is not our fault. That's not your fault. What you have learned, how you've internalized your experiences, it's not your fault. But if you want things to improve in your life, you have to become aware of these things so you can break out of those beliefs to open up to a possibility of a better life, or a life maybe even beyond what you even think is like possible, like beyond what you can even imagine. But kind of trapped in limiting beliefs here, trapped in places that weren't serving you, trapped in places that weren't aligning with you, until the Tower came through and knocked it all away. The universe will not let us settle in places where we are not meant to settle. And when we are trying to settle, or trying to force, or trying to pursue things that aren't meant for us, the universe will always throw a tower our way. And this tower is to redirect you to what is truly meant for you. So certain things in your life were falling away, and it was hard and emotional and scary, and all of those feelings are valid, but it doesn't mean that in the grand scheme of things it's bad. So understand that this was definitely a period of letting go of what isn't good for you, opening up for what is, like we kind of started the reading talking about. Doesn't have to feel like that. You don't have to, feel like that is absolutely what's happening. I feel like ultimately what this reading is trying to provide you with is this like a glimmer of hope maybe, or a little bit of guidance in the direction of your future instead of holding on so much to your past and like what didn't work out or how things should have been or would have been or could have been, because none of that is going to help you in creating your future. That's all just going to keep you trapped in the emotional experience of whatever you've been through. And understand that everything is always working out exactly as it should. Recent past for Taurus. What does Taurus need to know? Here you are, Taurus, whether you're male or female. You have the King of Pentacles. And then you have the Three of Wands in reverse. There's a little bit of playing it safe. Playing it safe. Choosing paths that felt safe but didn't feel right. And I genuinely believe that most people are doing this because we are human beings and the unknown is really scary. And our ego, the mechanism within us that is literally there to keep us alive, it absolutely hates the unknown. It wants control, it wants predictability, and it wants to feel like it knows exactly how things are going to play out. And so much of the time we choose paths, relationships, jobs, career paths, whatever the case might be, from this place of this gives me control instead of from a place of this is going to lead me to the life I truly desire. And I feel like when you look back, you might be able to see how you were playing it safe a little bit. I mean, I do think that there was this energy of settling for what didn't, it's like it didn't set your soul on fire. It didn't truly fulfill you or make you happy or align with what it is you are, really deserving of. And I think that I'm not saying this to like blame yourself or to shame yourself for choosing this path or this situation. What I'm trying to do, or what this reading is trying to do, is give you a different perspective on why certain things had to fall away. Because it wasn't the universe saying no to what you wanted. The universe only ever has 3 answers for us. It is yes, not right now, or there is something better. And when we're able to really lean into that, we start to realize, okay, if things didn't work out like I wanted, then that means it either must not be time for that, or it's going to be better than I thought it could be, which really eases the unknown and the uncertainty that comes with changing paths or being redirected in some form. So I do feel like this has been a very difficult time for you, Taurus, just what you've kind of been dealing with and going through. But I feel as if I still feel like the universe is like, you'll see, like you will understand when you get to where you're going, why that didn't work out and why, you weren't supposed to stay in those places that weren't truly meant for you. Because I feel like it's going to get better than you even think it can. All right, current energy for Taurus. Embrace uncertainty with the Strength in reverse. What does Taurus need to know about their current energy? There you are again. Again, it's the King of Pentacles, but it doesn't matter if you're male or female. We all have male and female energies within us, and really when masculine energies show up, I think of it more as like your pursuit, like what you're putting your energy into. It could be more this could be a more career or finance or oriented reading. It doesn't mean that it has to be, but anyway, okay. Sun in reverse with the 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Okay. Taurus, I feel as if you have been not so happy, not very fulfilled. And I'm not saying you're just like a miserable person and you're just unhappy and depressed all the time, but there's certainly this absence of inner joy and excitement for your life and fulfillment. And through what's fallen away, the universe is trying to give you an opportunity to create that fulfillment in your life. Now, fulfillment doesn't come from a job or a relationship or anything outside of us. It really does come from within. But as within, so without. As we create fulfillment within, it does start to trickle into our existence. But I also feel as if there's a part of you that's not being, I don't want to say you're not being honest with yourself about the fact that you're lacking this fulfillment, but it's almost as if you've become so comfortable with it that to you, you're like, oh, this is just as good as it can get. And the universe is sitting here shaking you saying, no, it's not. You deserve happiness and fulfillment and all of the things. You deserve everything and you can have it. But I feel as if it feels like complacency is what it feels like. And we've all been there and we've all done it and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do feel as if this is the universe trying to shake you and say, you are capable of so much more. You are deserving of so much more. You are meant for so much more. Than where you've been and what you've been settling for. And maybe you're trying to create that and you don't really know where to start. And that's, honestly, the first step in creating it is to become aware of the fact that it needs to be created or that things need to change. And being kind of open to the guidance and making that happen. But understand that I do feel as if the universe wants you to take this time to be very honest with yourself about where you're at and what you need to be happy, what your dream life even looks like, and what that, what if you had your dream day to day, because the majority of our life is mundane. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna go to bed Monday through Friday, and you're gonna have mundane things going through the motions. What does that look like to you? What does your day-to-day schedule look like? What in your dream world is that like? And when you can get, really real about what it is that would truly bring you fulfillment, you can start to create it. But it's almost like you've become complacent with not being happy, that you aren't wanting to create happiness because you've kind of gotten comfortable with it. And that's okay. But being honest with ourselves about that allows us to create better. Current energy for Taurus. What does Taurus need to know about their current energy? Hoping that message didn't make people mad. I feel like that was a tough one to deliver. Okay. Current energy for Taurus. What does Taurus need to know about their current energy? It's the willingness to embrace uncertainty. That's okay. So you have the Five of Wands with the Knight of Pentacles, and there's the High Priestess there. Us as humans, we're such interesting creatures. Because and it goes back to our ego wants us to stay in places that are predictable and familiar, but our ego actually prefers a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. So when I talk about getting comfortable in unhappiness or comfortable in, not experiencing the life you truly want, it's not saying that you're doing anything wrong or that you're, there's something wrong with you. What it's saying is that is the part of you that is trying to maintain control, fighting against the part of you that knows that you are capable and deserving of more. And right now, I feel as if the universe is asking you to be open to embrace the uncertainty of changing. Whatever this is about, of getting out of an old relationship or starting a business or whatever the case might be, the universe is asking you to open yourself up to the possibilities that lie when you make these changes that you've kind of been on the fence about making for a while. It's like, I don't feel like anything I'm saying in this reading is new information. I feel like these are things, the Five of Wands is indicative of some sort of inner struggle, something that you've already been kind of struggling with. And I feel as if a lot of the decisions that you've made have been to avoid uncertainty, and the universe is asking you to do the opposite and embrace uncertainty and have the faith that that is going to take you to the places that you want to go. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're getting or have been complacent because we truly think that is as good as it can get for us, but deep down we know that we're unhappy. Now, I will say I think it's incredibly important to always be grateful for the life that you have and the things that the good that is in your life, but being grateful for what you have doesn't mean you have to settle. It doesn't mean that it's not bad to want good things for your life. It's not bad to want to experience and find that fulfillment for yourself. And so, I don't know, I just feel like the universe is saying, I don't know if it's a wake-up period. I don't know what this is really about in terms of like how it's playing out in your circumstances, but I do very much feel as if the universe is trying to show you what's truly possible for you so that you can take steps in that direction. It's almost like the universe is saying, don't repeat these past patterns. Like, for me, I was in finance for a really long time right out of college, and that didn't work out. I didn't like it, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll do something different. So I got into real estate, and it was just the same thing, but different. It was a different career path, but it was the exact same lack of fulfillment. And so the universe kind of shook me and told me to try something different, a spiritual path and all of that kind of unfolded, and obviously here I am. But what I'm saying is sometimes we try to do, like when things fall away that don't work, we try to replace it with something that's like the exact same, and then that doesn't work. And it's because the universe is again trying to get you out of places that don't align with as good as it can get. So if things haven't worked out, it's not saying no, it's saying there's something better. You just have to find that path, but in order to find it, you have to believe in it. I hope that makes sense. This is kind of a complicated energy that's coming through. Current energy for Taurus. Current energy for Taurus. Okay. Oh, okay. Right now is a period of self-reflection. It's a period of making sure that you're going within and you're, asking yourself the hard questions. The questions that I will say I think a lot of people end up not asking themselves. And I think the number one question is, what would make me happy? I think that so many people don't really know the answer to that because they think that what would truly make them happy is out of reach, so they want to cling to what they have because if that's as good as it can get, at least they have something, right? I kind of made this promise to myself that when I get to the end of my life, or whenever that time does come, I want to be able to look back and say, I did every single thing that I could to live the best life possible for myself. I took the risks, I made the hard decisions, I embraced faith. And the reason that I think that I made that promise to myself is because I've watched a lot of the people that I love, like just family members and things like that, get to a certain place in their life where they have a lot of regrets for not making those moves or not making those decisions or not, giving certain things that they loved a chance. And I think that so much of what is possible for us lies in the commitment to making it happen, which starts with figuring out what it even is. When we start to really reflect and say, am I truly happy? Does this truly align with what it is I really want out of this life? Is this the path that I want for the rest of my life? For me, one of the questions I ask myself is this, if I am going to live this day to day for the next 10 years, is that something I'm okay with? Can you do the same thing that you're doing today for the rest of your life? Or are there things that you need to change so that you can create a life that makes you happy today, not in some future version of you? And I feel like the more that we lean into that, and what this reading is kind of asking you to do is to lean into doing whatever you can to create happiness for you today. I know, there are so many people that spend lifetimes waiting on things to get better and waiting on them to be happy and waiting on people to choose them and waiting on that promotion and waiting. And that waiting turns into not living. And the more that we wait for our life to improve or to be happy or for things to get better, the less we get to actually live it. And so this is about allowing yourself to step into this new beginning of creating a life that is surrounded by the things that make you happy, that set your soul on fire, that bring you joy and passion and excitement and creativity and all of the things that allow you to live. Because right now, I'm speaking to a Taurus collective that isn't living. You're kind of just going through the motions, which is okay, and it's not that you're doing anything wrong, but being honest with yourself and asking, am I truly happy, will allow you to make better decisions so that you can create that. Because again, the universe is saying when you get to where everything is trying to take you, you will see why certain things haven't worked out and why the universe won't let certain relationships pan out for you or certain career paths, because it's those places weren't and aren't aligned with as good as things can get for you. This reading did not end up going the way that I thought it would. This one kind of came out of left field. All right, immediate future for Taurus. You have abundance with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. I hope someone's still with me, because I will say these messages feel very specific. So I don't know. All right, immediate future for Taurus. Abundance with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Things haven't gone according to plan for a reason. Okay, we know that. So now, hang on. I want to clarify this 10 of Swords in reverse. Things haven't gone according to plan for a reason. The Queen of Pentacles. Okay, this is going to kind of sound cheesy, but I feel like you're going through a period of self-discovery. Like really uncovering yourself, uncovering who you want to be, which is a lot of what we talked about in your current energy, right? But it's almost like the more that you step into this version of yourself that you're becoming, the more that your life, because here's the thing, the things that I feel haven't worked out, I feel at one point were what you really wanted. But it's almost like you're uncovering a new version of yourself, like your real, true, authentic you, which you're starting to understand that, okay, these things that I once thought I want isn't really what I want anymore. And that's very natural and very normal. And that might be why you're in this period of in-between, is because it's giving you the space to really uncover who you really are, what you really want, what you really want out of your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It's never too late to be what you want to be. It's never too late to experience what it is you want to experience. And I feel as if as you move forward, you're getting closer and closer to this like true, authentic, real version of you. And your life is going to start to change to adapt to that. So allow yourself to be in this in-between phase, because so much is being uncovered in this process. But it's going to require being very radically honest with yourself about everything. Which, one of my favorite quotes is, the extent to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth they are willing to accept about themselves without running away. And it's true. When we are willing to look at our life and ourselves through that lens of radical honesty, we no longer live in a state of illusion. We no longer live in that cognitive dissonance of being unhappy but trying to believe that we are happy, or whatever the case might be. But that honesty is hard, because you have to face a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety and doubt and insecurity and all the things. But through that, you kind of uncover, like I said, who you really are, which allows you to step into a life that really aligns with that version of you. All right. Whew, this is kind of heavy. A lot going on here. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? Two of Cups. You know, I feel like it's important, like, that we saw the King and Queen of Pentacles here, because it almost feels as if finding this union of self, when what it is that you've been dreaming and what it is that you're pursuing start to align. What it is that you desire and what it is that you're investing in start to align. Because a lot of times people spend their life at a disconnect from those things. You know, they invest in things that aren't really what they want, instead of investing in what could really make them happy. Now, that's usually coming from a place of fear. And this Two of Cups, it feels like it's finding this just radical, unconditional love for yourself, where you're able to say, I'm no longer going to spend my time in places that don't make me happy, or that take away from my peace, or that make me feel drained or unvaluable or not good enough, or whatever the case is. And when you find that like balance within, where you literally are able to say, I love myself more than being stuck in a reality that doesn't make me happy, you will start to change the way that you approach your life. So that's why I feel this feels like you're going through a very drastic, like, inner transformation that you are going to start to see unfold in your immediate future. And that's why right now there's this energy of just kind of needing to trust that where you're at right now, and this, like, because you're unbecoming one person and becoming someone new, right? And in the middle of that, there's kind of going to be this nothingness, right? You're really figuring out who you are and what you want and things of that nature. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at. It's just that you're needing to kind of connect to that deeper part of you that wants more for yourself, and then truly believe that you are deserving and capable of those things, loving yourself enough to actually create it for yourself. That's what your future is about. And then as you start to step into that, you start to create it. And that's where the universe is like, you'll see, you will totally understand why everything had to play out the way that it did. Okay, one more. What can Taurus expect in their immediate future? This is like no more waiting. This is an energy, the Emperor, the Knight of Swords, then you have the Queen of Cups here. It's like taking charge of your life, taking life into your own hands, becoming the creator of your existence. You know, life is either happening to you or you are happening to life. And this is about you no longer letting life just happen to you and starting to step into like actively and consciously creating your life, which is really cool. It feels like it's a very spiritual, maybe a bit of an awakening is happening, or something. It feels very intense, that's for sure. And I feel like that's why things have been so tough for you. But just know that as you kind of clear out this space and let go of the old, that it's going to require this deeper honesty to say, you know what, I wasn't happy in those spaces and those things weren't meant for me, but I was choosing them because I thought that was as good as it could get, and now I'm open to experiencing what's really meant for me. Because that as you start to take that approach, the universe is saying when you get to the other side of this, you're not going to feel like you've missed out. You're not going to feel like things would have or could have or should have been better. This abundance is what aligns with you. So I like seeing this Emperor. It's a very confident energy. It's a very determined energy, committed energy. And that's the kind of energy you have to really, truly step into to create what it is that you're wanting to create here. So, that was a lot. Obviously, I hope that it helped someone out there. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to focus on what can you do to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. So find more focused on the advice in the present moment. And a lot of that was kind of just general overarching energy. So thank you, Taurus, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Taurus, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Taurus.